The look on your face when no one's looking says a lot about you.
Hi, I'm Mary Carr, and I'm from Winter Haven, Florida. Let's talk about that.
Good Mythical Morning!
This episode is brought to you by Smule, makers of amazing musical iPad and iPhone applications.
Like the Magic Piano. The Magic Piano is the centerpiece of our Dope Zebra Magic Piano video contest. We announced it last week, and the entries are already rolling in. Details for the contest in the description. Make your own video response. You can win Mythical Shoes.
Did you breathe in as much of the universe as possible this morning and then exhale the universe back into the universe?
That was the motivational speech that we gave yesterday. You were listening, Link.
I've thought a lot about it since then, and I haven't made more sense of it.
You need to cross your eyes a little bit when you inhale, though. And then uncross them as you exhale.
Breathing is a good thing. Whether you involve the universe in it is your own business.
I don't think there's any way to not involve the universe in breathing. If you figure that out, call us.
Plenty of things to talk about today. Things that we've talked about amongst ourselves in the past that we think can have a positive impact on your quality of life.
Yes, is that what this is about?
That was my little intro.
Something happened to me recently when I was at a restaurant, and it reminded me of something that we have talked about often.
Yes?
I was at the old Fuddruckers. You know Fuddruckers?
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Is it as dangerous to eat there as it is to pronounce it?
No, it's pretty straightforward to eat there.
Okay.
Much more straightforward to eat there. But I actually haven't been. It's the first time I've ever been to Fuddruckers as a family.
I've always been afraid to go.
Because you just say, let's go to that restaurant. I'm not going to say what it is, but let's just go to that one.
I've never been.
The one with the burgers. We go in, and the way it works is you order from someone who's like, you don't sit down. You go and you order your food, and then you wait for it to be made, and then you go pick it up. So it kind of happens like a fast food restaurant, but then there's like this nicer place to sit and stuff, Kind of like, it's sort of like a fast food restaurant the more I think about it.
Okay.
That's beside the point. But as I was ordering my burger and the family's assorted burgers, I took note of the facial expression on the girl who was taking my order. And I thought to myself, she has a pleasant facial expression. She seems happy to be at Fuddruckers. She seems happy to be serving my family burgers, or at least finding out what we want.
So what was it like?
It was just sort of,
I guess that's happy.
I don't
Pleasant.
I don't do happy very well, but she was just happy and inviting. Then
Did she make a motion with her hands?
no,
like
it was all
next?
It was all isolated in the face. That's kind of my point. It all happened in the face, and it just seemed like her default facial expression was one of invitation to order burgers and be happy about it.
Her, or as I would call it, the default facial expression. You emphasize the D, and I emphasize the fault, and we'll meet in the middle. And people can side on either side. But yeah, that's really what we're getting to, is that she had a default facial expression.
Or a default. And then the girl who, when they said, Rhett, order for Rhett, I went up there to get it. And the girl who was giving me the burger then, she had a bad facial expression that made me feel like I had done something wrong. It was like this. It was like, the way she pushed me the burgers was like.
So her left corner of her mouth went up, and her right corner went down.
It wasn't that complex. And I think I maybe just made an expression like, I don't like working at Fuddruckers, but it was more like, I can't believe you ordered that type of burger. It was just like, it was, she judged me. And it was all default facial expression.
And this is what we mean by default facial expression. It's the face that you make when you're not making a face at all. When you don't have any thoughts that would lead to expressing emotions on your face. It's the at-rest position of your face when there's no need to communicate anything.
When you're not experiencing any emotions other than just whatever happens when you sit waiting for a plane at an airport.
Right, that's where we first started to have this discussion waiting for a plane. You know, it's a great place to do people watching. A mall will also work. You sit down on a bench, just watch people going by or sitting on other benches, waiting for planes, shopping aimlessly for earrings or whatever they do at those little kiosks, Bluetooth headsets. People aren't thinking, you know, they're not in active communication with somebody. They're just going about their business, but looking at their face and analyzing what it's saying when they're not intending to say anything is fascinating.
Because everyone is making an expression. That's the thing. You might be like, what are you talking about? They're not making a face. No, they are making a face. And some people, like this girl at Fuddruckers, has a pleasant, like her default expression was just one of quiet, happy confidence.
So it's the face you're making when you're not making a face, because if you have a face, you're always making some sort of a face.
Some snort of a face.
Even if you're not snort of doing it on purpose.
But you know, the thing that gets me is there are a lot of people, and you see this in a lot of like the, I don't want to typify somebody, but you know, when I think like Orange County, like 24-year-old girl, you know what I think?
Like a biker? I think of bikers when I think of Orange County.
No, I'm talking like the OC, like where the rich people live.
Oh. Isn't there also a biker reality show there?
But that really throws off my point.
So forget about that.
Like a Paris Hilton, she looks annoyed. Her default expression is one of annoyance. It's just like
her eyes are going up, kind of, and I
can't even do it. But
she's breathing out of her nose. Yeah, and I've had friends. We're no longer friends for this reason, but their default facial expression is one of. It's like I'm smelling something, like the nostrils are flared. Like just the natural expression is more of a. Like, I just smelled something pungent.
But they're not upset about anything. It's a default or a default. It is just what the face they make at rest.
They're not smelling anything at that moment. Have you ever run across these people? Maybe you are one of these people.
Well, that's where we're getting to. But some people, their default facial expression, I'm adopting your lingo now.
Yeah.
Is a mouth open, partially open, like this.
Now this can mean one of two things. The expression you're making where the mouth is gaped open and the eyes are blank is just, one of I'm sorry, but you look stupid if you're just at rest in this way. Now, if the eyes are open a little bit and they're focused on something, your default facial expression could be that you're freaked out. So either way, when your mouth's open, you've got two options. You're either stupid or you're freaked out.
But if your mouth open is your default expression, you're stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just telling you, you need to keep your mouth closed. Don't just sit there with your mouth open. Don't be a mouth breather. Don't be a mouth breather.
But the people are saying, what if I have a sinus infection?
Well, there's an exception. When you're sick, all bets are off. You can do whatever you want to when you're sick. But when you're completely healthy, keep the mouth closed. Just figure out a way. I don't know if there's like a structural issue there, but just figure out a way to get the lips to meet in the middle. Even if you have to do this, it's better than, listen, you usually make a default facial expression in like a job interview. If you go into a job interview and the dude is asking you a question and you're like, you won't get hired.
We don't have to go out on a limb there. A job interview is a good way to think about it. If you got the default, I'm critical and not happy, like where the frown, if your mouth goes down, I don't think you're going to get a job either.
You might get one in quality control.
Yeah,
let's put this guy somewhere where he can make judgments about things, which kind of leads to, we both have default facial expressions.
Let me see. Assume you're definitely not happy. Definitely.
I know. I've seen my wife has told me about this. Like when I'm at rest, if I'm thinking about anything, and I'm usually thinking about something, my mouth is closed first of all.
Yeah.
But I crinkle my eyebrows, and I know that I look a little bit like this guy's thinking about something, and it's probably negative. I mean, I admit that. So I have to.
It's borderline confused, and that's dangerous.
I take that into account when I interact with somebody. Like when I meet somebody for the first time, I try to think, oh, you look like a jerk right now. You need to
Raise your eyebrows, mate. Oh, you go with a smile? You try to feign a smile?
Just a little, just like the girl at Fuddruckers a little bit, just sort of a...
That doesn't work for you, man. You can't fake a smile. You gotta...
What?
Forget that. Just raise the eyebrows. Like, be mad. But even be mad first. And then look at the people. And then raise the eyebrows. No, your nostril is flared. That's better. That's an improvement. What do you think about me? All right, I'm waiting for a plane. I'm trying not to be annoyed that I'm waiting for a plane. I expected it, so I'm just...
You look a little sad.
I do have older people come up to me in public places and say, "Honey, can I help you with something?" I have had that happen. If I'm just sitting on a bench,
Are you lost?
older women come up to me as if I'm like an isolated toddler.
Where are your parents at?
Yeah. So, well, I mean, I guess I would change. Maybe just give a little upturn to the...
You're just one side of your face. Just... Well, just don't. You got sad eyes. Just sort of. I think the point here is
if I look up, it's kind of in wonderment.
You all have a default facial expression, and you need to know what it is. And
discover it and tame it.
You either need to own it, or you need to take it into account in different social situations. And if you're a mouth breather, you need to make serious efforts to keep the mouth closed at all times.
And if you have a sinus infection, just hold your breath. Let's spin the wheel and see how we're going to end this episode of Good Mythical Morning. We're here to help you. We're here to spark conversations and be your friends.
Interpretive dance. Who dances in this one?
I think it's your turn to dance. I've definitely danced in the past. Let's move this out of the way here. As a seedling is planted in the dirt and emerges when it feels the rays of the sun, slowly, with a default facial expression of sheer wonderment mixed with "I'm smelling something bad." The petals of the flower reach out to photosynthesize. It breathes in the universe, and as it breathes out, it's as if the flower is saying, "Thank you for making us a part of your morning routine whenever your mythical morning may happen." And then it dies. But you don't die, you continue watching.